welcome to yet another Star Trek podcast. I hope everybody's doing well out there. I'm Brad for the evening. Of course, I'm joined by the two jerks of space in the final frontier. We have Drew and Majeed. Welcome, gentlemen.
Space jerk, space jerk, space jerk, space jerk.
I was trying so hard not to laugh when he said Brad for the evening.
I specifically did that trying to make you laugh, dude. That was on purpose.
Funny. It's so funny.
It really is.
Because tomorrow he's just like, I don't know, Patrick Bateman or something. It depends.
Brad, do you listen to Helios in the news?
I do.
Oh shit, we're screwed.
No, I don't. I'm lying. Gentlemen, how you guys doing? How's everything been?
I'm getting a real Jeffrey Dahmer vibe from Brad right now. Hey, Brad, what you been watching on Netflix?
I tried watching that. I could not tolerate it.
You're like, it's too close to home.
Yeah, it's too much my life story.
Relax. I just want to take a picture.
Oh my god, I haven't seen any of it. So.
No, I haven't seen that. I think there was this couple bodybuilders where like the wife ended up killing the husband, and it was like a documentary series I ended up watching. I can't remember what the name it was. It was interesting. It happened in the 90s. And then there was
something Sally.
Yeah, something Sally. And then there was I think Midnight Club.
The racing game?
No, it's
I thought the same thing.
It's now I'm gonna look it up. No, it's called the Midnight Club. It's kind of like you remember Who's Afraid of the Dark? It's basically these terminally ill kids who meet in this library at midnight and they tell scary stories, but their life is also some sort of scary story as well. So it's like you're just kind of like jumping at every moment. They have they apparently got an award from the Guinness Book of World Records for the first episode for having the most jump scares in a single episode.
Wow. What was this?
I pass.
The Midnight Club. It was really good. It surprised me. Like I enjoyed it a lot better than I had anticipated.
Well, you're a horror fan too, so that tracks.
Well, I mean, also I have questions about your taste in shows and movies because you have a kid now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're also probably over there watching like Octonauts.
What?
And
not yet. Not yet. I'm not there. We're
Aquanauts?
Octonauts. They're like octopuses under sea or something.
We are in the.
I think they're Octonauts.
But octopuses already are in the sea.
Yeah, but they're like in the Navy or something.
What? Like
yeah.
Seal McBeal, the Navy SEAL.
I'm pretty sure they're called Octonauts. Hang on, Octonauts. And this is how we spend the first 5 minutes of our podcast. The Octonauts are Octonauts are a dynamic 8-member team of a quirky and courageous adventurous heroes who dive into action whenever there's trouble under the sea.
I appreciate that there's 8 of them.
I don't know what you're Googling, but when I Google it, I pull up a watch. Apparently, the way I spelled it is it just pulls up a watch.
How did I end up with tentacle porn?
I mean, honestly, you got the best of both worlds. Brad, you spelled it wrong.
Apparently.
Obviously, you spelled it wrong. You should be ashamed of yourself.
So just for our listeners, how would you go about in spelling that, Majeed?
Octonauts?
I know how I would spell it, but Brad doesn't know how to spell it. OCTANUTS.
Isn't it right in front of you?
I closed it. I'm looking at. I have 2 screens.
I spelled it as aqua instead of not. I was doing it entirely wrong. Clearly.
Are you proud of yourself, or are you ashamed?
To be fair, he got a watch.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
the watch apparently is like a $60,000 watch. Who would have guessed?
All right, now on to Drew. We need to talk about your search history and algorithm now.
Plead the fifth.
So gentlemen, how's everything been going? It's been a bit of time since we've last chatted. I believe it's been almost 2 weeks.
I was telling you guys before, I've been saying it all week. my butt hurts. My legs are sore. My butt hurts. My back is hurting. It's been progressive overload for the past few months. Spartan race is right up the street, like it's there. I can see it. It's on Saturday.
You can see City Field from your house. That's awesome, man.
And when I close my eyes, that's all I see. But I mean, you know, it's gonna be great because I told you, Drew, I'm gonna leave an upper decker in the bathroom there for you.
And then I explained to you that would be impossible.
Right, and we'll just take a dump in the field like the rest of the Mets do.
Yeah.
Anyway, after Saturday.
Well,
sorry. After Saturday, man, it's it. I don't have anything else to obsess over until the next Spartan race, or maybe I'll do a Turkey Day 5K. Who knows?
yeah, we have Thanksgiving coming up soon.
Is that a thing? A Turkey Day 5K?
Yeah. Turkey Day 5K literally is a 5K that you'll run in your town, and it's on Thanksgiving.
Huh.
There's other races that you'll get like a giant turkey leg after the race is over.
I don't think I want that.
Nobody wants that. Maybe Brad. Brad, do you want a giant turkey leg?
When I go to a Ren fair.
What's a Ren fair?
A Renaissance fair?
Oh, well, don't try to be cool and abbreviate it. It doesn't make you less of a loser.
But that's what they call it.
The cool Renaissance fair people?
No, they just refer to it as a Ren fair.
Hi, Drew.
I'm staying out of this.
Buddy?
I'm staying out of this.
I mean,
for fear of incrimination.
I have an idea. Stick with me on this.
Oh boy.
We should go to a Renaissance fair.
No.
Hang on.
Full stop.
Let me finish.
In Star Trek outfits?
Thank you. Yes.
Wow, I've never heard that one before.
Several people have done that before.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah.
All right, I'm done. You know what? I tried.
Well, no, I'm surprised you didn't think of the Star Wars route. You know, you go to a Renaissance fair where it's back in time. Like, you know, that was a long time ago.
I mean, I know Frank's is talking about dressing up as Anakin Skywalker and going to like a daycare, but that was different.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's all sorts of messed up there. That's all sorts of messed up.
I think it's time to pivot.
Yeah.
The fact that you both got it.
It just shows you where we fall in the nerd spectrum.
The fact that you both got it immediately. This is so bad. Oh. No, but seriously though, Frank's get help. Anyway, guys, we have a Star Trek podcast. I'm not sure if you knew this. I'm laughing so hard I'm sweating. I should probably turn a fan on.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, like, I need to take my hoodie off.
Drew's taking off his clothes.
Just,
Majeed's gonna be putting a fan on. All right.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna fan myself off now. Drew, hang on. Yeah.
Just pour a bucket of cold water.
You guys won't believe this. Drew took off his sweater, and he's wearing the same exact shirt underneath. Like it's the same exact design.
It is not.
No. Oh, they just happen to have red.
Oh, okay, and they're both porcupines. One's PC.
I just color
Porcupine
matched,
engine. Porcupine engine. Right?
No.
Okay.
Although Porcupine Engine would be pretty great.
And it sounds adorable.
It does.
It sounds really
every time you go to rev it up, though, you get stuck.
Well, no. Imagine the security system on that.
Well, the Porcupine would be the security system.
True. Well, gentlemen, we have an episode we watched this past week.
Oh, we sure did.
Yeah, I watched the entire season of White Lotus. But you're talking Star Trek.
I tried White Lotus, by the way, and I could not get into that show. Just couldn't catch my interest.
You have a kid now. Your interests are different.
Clearly. But with the week, this week's episode, we watched Tomorrow is Yesterday. I feel, and I feel this is an explanation for you, Majeed, of what finally happened over those 3 days. This is what happened.
It's not. It's not. It really isn't. It really isn't. And this episode is just an homage to the Futurama episode, which they did the same exact thing, except there was no Zoidberg hitting on one of the military guys.
I'm pretty sure, if anything, it's the other way around, where Futurama kind of based it off of this.
I mean, you're a time traveler. You should understand that time is not a linear thing. Time is like a circle.
I thought it was a string.
Or a square. Or
it's a string that can be folded upon each other, or it's like a roll of tape. Jeremy Bearimy.
It's Jeremy Bearimy.
Jeremy Bearimy.
Oh man, I love that.
Oof, that took you a while. that was such a delay.
It did. It's been a while since I've seen that show. By the way, we're talking about The Good Place, a wonderful show for folks who are interested in comedies and about the afterlife. But this week, folks, we watched Tomorrow is Yesterday. Now, I don't have a summary for you, so I'm just going to give you the gist of everything and try to go from there. So we start off in the year 1969 when a strange, mysterious UFO shows up in the sky, and United States Air Force send a fighter pilot to investigate. And it turns out it's the Enterprise. They somehow are miraculously transported back in time to 1969. They did some sort of explanation about something exploding on their way to Earth, and it transported them.
Yeah. So the loose explanation was they quote unquote came across a black star. I think they were implying like a black hole.
Probably.
And yeah, it sent them back in time. And I don't know about you guys, but I loved the intro to this episode.
Oh yeah.
I thought this was great.
The intro actually kind of surprised me. It took me back because I'm used to such quality intros that are kind of questionable, and this actually felt like it was very well done. Probably stock footage, I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
But it definitely had a vibe to really set up the pace and tone for the episode.
It was clever, and I thought it was unique and different. It caught my attention.
Well, it was the military being put on alert for some strange unknown entity. Not necessarily an unknown entity, I guess. More of just like an alert of a object in the sky.
Can you imagine watching this episode back in the 60s for the first time, and you sit down to watch Star Trek, and all of a sudden you have all this like current day footage that you're seeing, and you're like, oh, what the hell's going on? This is weird. Is this a different show? Am I watching a movie? Did somebody make a mistake? And then all of a sudden the Enterprise is hovering above planet Earth in like the clouds. Like, how cool is that?
Majeed, what are your thoughts on that intro?
I think a better explanation would have been that Sulu put something in a microwave.
You know, he put tinfoil, just like my wife.
Did the world go red and blue at the same time?
Clearly. No, everybody was flashing green. Everybody was flashing green.
He says, hey, what smells blue? No, listen, look, I don't want to bury the lead here, but I did not love this episode as much as I thought I would.
You have to pretend at least until we get to the end.
My bad.
You loved it.
Do you want to bleep that part out?
No.
No. We're good. We're rolling.
I'm joking with you. You can
voice your opinion as much as I do.
Yeah.
The difference, Brad, is that Drew cares less about my opinion than he does for yours.
That's true.
Ouch.
I didn't say it. You said it.
Words hurt. You didn't have to agree with me so quickly.
Okay, we can try that
again. Could have sold the illusion. No,
we can go back and we can re-record that part.
We can't.
No. Even better. What Drew will do is he'll just put a delay.
Yes.
The scar's just still there.
He'll fix it in post.
All right, let's try it again.
All right.
No, you don't. You don't even have to. We've already done it. So therefore,
Right,
he could just
but then-
he could just edit it and be like, delay.
Sometimes it's good to have a second take.
Yeah, but Drew can just add the Jeopardy music in there.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
So what did I say? Okay. Drew cares less for my. It's so bad. My memory sucks.
Drew cares less for your opinion than he does for mine.
Thanks, director. Gosh.
Line. Can I
Drew
get my line,
cares-
please?
Line. Drew cares less for my opinion than he does for yours, Brad. Too much pause.
Yes.
Too much pause. Too much. It was
So
too
going
much.
back to the episode, the fighter pilot. By the way, it's just you see a strange object in the sky. What do? You send a
follow
single pilot. You don't send a fleet. You just send like one person because that's all it takes. One.
Isn't
ship.
that what they did in Independence Day?
Probably?
Well, Randy Quaid, they just want to get rid of Randy Quaid.
I mean, do you blame him?
Oof, spoiler alert for a 30-year-old movie.
Anyways,
Randy
that
Quaid
one
dies.
pilot is going to figure out what the heck it is. They're like, oh my god, it's some strange ship. And Kirk was like, hey, let's just take the ship, grab a tractor beam, and then let's take it from there. Bad idea, guys, because apparently the tractor beam destroyed the crap out of his ship. And they're like, okay, well, we got to beam him up. So they beam him up beforehand. And then he's like, oh my God, what the hell is everything? That's pretty much how it goes. And that sums up that part.
When he's like, can I go back home? He's like, no, you're stuck here.
Yeah.
He's
So
stuck here. He's like, people are going to miss me. And Spock's like, no, they're not.
nobody's going to miss you.
No, they're not.
So to that point is they eventually calm the guy down. They talk him through, say, we're from the future, which he somehow quickly, acknowledges and accepts.
This dude acclimated to this whole concept way too quickly.
By the way, why did they give him a Starfleet uniform to wear?
Yeah, didn't they have like literally any other clothing?
Apparently,
I mean, they can make clothing in a replicator, can't they?
Yeah, they can. So they get this guy on the ship. They kind of convince him, hey, you know what? We're from the future. And then they have a meeting. To Majeed's point, Kirk goes to Spock and is like, what is his significance on this era? And Spock's like, yeah, he contributed nothing to history. So it really wouldn't matter if he's missed. And he's like, what is going on? I don't want that.
Spock is laying the smackdown on this dude. He gives 0 Fs.
Pretty much,
this dude.
Pretty much. So they eventually kind of talk him into, what we need to do is we need to collect the data from like the evidence from his ship and everything. So they kind of convince him, maybe we'll let you go if you help us. Okay. That's kind of the way it kind of went. And it worked out. It worked out fairly well. The crew end up identifying a place where there's a military base and they can beam down to collect the evidence. The guy, of course, is like, hey, you know what? I'll go down with you. No. Kirk is like, none of that. It'll be me and Sulu. By the way, I kind of half expected them to do some sort of, oh no, it's like an invasion type thing, them all get caught, but they did technically get caught, but by one person. And of course, that one person, what do? They beam him up. And so now there's another guy.
That made 0 sense to me. That made absolutely no sense.
However, this was a little bit more comical because this guy was scared shitless.
Yeah.
You can totally bleep that out if you want, but it was so true because he was like, what is going on? Is entirely frozen and is like, I'm not moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember Kirk messages the Enterprise is like, hey, you may want to show them around, give them proof that we are who we are. And they're like, yeah, that's not going to be a problem. He's not moving anywhere.
The thing that I like just found most ridiculous of all about this whole situation is like, the Enterprise crew is like, what do we do? I don't know. Beam them up. Okay.
Yep.
This is why Kirk is gonna get court-martialed. This is it. This is everything we're seeing is the reason why he gets dishonorably discharged in the future. He doesn't become admiral. He is dishonorably discharged.
Well, you're gonna be real disappointed in a little while.
They promote this nonsense? Damn it, Starfleet, you suck.
Anyways, so well, actually, I'm gonna go back to this guy this random guy, the security guard, they beam up. The thing that got me though was, he didn't really want anything, but they were like, "Hey, are you hungry? Oh, I could use some soup," and they make him a chicken noodle soup or something. And he's like completely blown away by the fact that they just pull out soup from nowhere. Apparently that was just lost on you guys, I guess. Okay.
I mean,
I think this is the part where my brain's shut off.
Oh, you did. Oh, well, I can't ask you that question yet, but did you like the episode?
I don't know. Did you, Majeed?
I didn't. So it's funny because my daughter's watching it with me, and she's not saying a word. I think she thought it was interesting.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, right.
Good
I have to. Yeah, sure. Good for her. But she's also grounded, though.
she can't bash the episode, or else she gets an extension to her grounded.
Oh my god!
Right. I don't even know why she was in the living room with me. She's just like petting the. No, actually, no.
Because she's got nothing else to do if she's
the
grounded.
Dog was
existence
right, the dog
is pain.
The dog and I are for lack of better words, the dog and I are cuddling on the couch.
Aww.
Kylo's a cuddler, by the way, and it's amazing. Better than a cat cuddle.
Dog cuddles are pretty great.
Dog cuddles are pretty great.
Yeah.
But I don't even know why she was there. I almost fell asleep during the episode.
Okay.
I expected more.
But I get it. I get it. They succeed in the mission, getting the evidence, being back on board, and they get to talk and try to figure out what's going on. Also, they finally figure out a way that they're gonna try to go back home to. And the whole thing here, though, is where none of this actually matters. Because what they do is they go back in time and they return the guys they took in the exact same moments that they took them. And so none of it actually ever happened.
The part that confuses me is how their minds they beamed the original ones back into those places, but they're by beaming on top of themselves, like the brains just lost all memory. I don't.
No explanation. They beam them on top of each other in a way that no Enterprise, no space travel, no nothing, and they eventually go back to the future, and so everything's normal.
Yeah, they is that the term jumping the shark, or is that a different term? Jumping the shark is when you do something unbelievably stupid and somehow get away with it, right?
Well, that's
jumping the shark.
Yeah. So it's usually referred to the point when in a TV show they've gone too far and there's no hope of return. And it actually refers to a specific moment in Happy Days when the Fonzie jumped his motorcycle over a shark.
Right, literally jumped.
Oh man, I remember that.
So that is where that term came from, because that show was never the same from that point on. Like, it was kind of heading in that direction, and that's just where it was like too far gone. I think this term in related to Star Trek should be time warping the sun.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate,
because that's kind of what they did.
They do not handle time travel well.
No. Well, buddy, you better get used to it, because this is not going to be the last time you're going to see this very same technique.
it's I feel like Drew, you and I have seen this quite some time, over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very typical Star Trek trope of, oh my god, how did we do this? It's so crazy. Time travel is so unique, but we'll do it again next week, so don't worry.
Right. It's
this could have been literally an entire season if it was Discovery or something, you know.
But
Oh,
should it have
arc.
if it was Discovery, it would have been an entire season. I mean, well, what season 3? Season 3 of Discovery is them going to the future.
I didn't mean to trigger you, buddy. I know you hated Discovery season 3.
You're not wrong.
Like, actually,
you're not wrong.
You hated it from the very first episode, I think, and then we're like, ugh, it just started.
Discovery has been like hit or miss with me. It had its ups and downs where I was not happy with certain changes. Some of the stuff is just, I don't like the actress who plays Michael. I really don't like her. I love the supporting cast. Some of the other main characters, like the guy who plays Stamets. What's the other guy's? The doctor, Hugh. Is that his name?
Wilson Cruz.
Oh, with the fantastic facial hair.
I love him. He's amazing.
Sir Absalot.
I love his facial hair too.
Yeah,
it's great. Like it's perfect facial hair.
No, he's gorgeous.
I'll be honest. I kind of have a crush on that guy. That guy is like.
I get it.
I'm hoping that your wife just like busts through the door and hits you with a I don't know, wooden spoon. You guys have wooden.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll just be like, hey, you know what, sweetheart, I totally deserve it. Keep
show her. Just show her a picture of Wilson Cruz, and she'll.
I know.
Is that his real name?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it as my wallpaper background to see if my wife complains. Because currently, my wife is my wallpaper.
Is that forced upon you? Was that something where she's like, hey, give me your phone? Let me put it there?
When we were in Miami. There was a lobby in the Hotel Aria. By the way, Hotel Aria, I love you. Give me money. Sponsor us. Anyway, they had this lobby, and I just said, "What I gotta take a picture here. This is the perfect lighting. It's the perfect background. It's just everything." So before I left, I was able to get a picture, a mini photo shoot with my wife there. So that's just been the picture.
Nice.
There have been times I've been tempted just to delete it, to change it, because, you know, A, it's getting old, right? And B, you've upset me emotionally, physically.
Do you threaten her by like, look, if you don't fix this, I'm going to delete that photo off my...
I've said maybe I want to put a picture of Kylo instead. And, you know, Kylo, I've taken some really good pictures of Kylo. Like, he's really like a photogenic dog. I threatened her.
Anyways, gentlemen,
how did we get here?
We are kind of digressing from the original topic.
Right, we talked about Brad getting beat with a spoon, and then we just went off the rails.
Well, that's deserved.
We need to sum up the episode.
So to sum up this episode, apparently Sulu put something in the microwave, and everything went haywire.
Everything turns blue.
The Enterprise just beams up random people from the past.
Apparently, if you beam somebody on top of themselves, it erases their memory. And quite frankly, none of this shit really matters anyways.
Right.
Because nothing actually happened.
This is Shrike 2 when it comes to time travel on this show for me.
Okay, well,
do I sound like Vin Diesel right now?
You totally don't. But keep telling yourself that.
Wow. That's a merits. First
one of the episode.
That's the first one of like of the month. You haven't gotten one in a while, sir.
I have not.
I'm gonna throw an egg at you.
But I think the time travel, the beginning of the episode showed, I think, a very good starting point for this episode. I thought it was done very well. The opening sequence. The middle part of the story felt a little wishy-washy, and then the ending was kind of up and down there.
So there's something that this episode does that we haven't really truly seen to this point yet, but Brad and I have seen this time and time again, and Majeed, maybe you have in some of your more recent Star Trek exposures. And that's like the way that the Federation views time travel in general, right? The last time we saw time travel, that wasn't the basis of the story. That was a way of trying to fix an ending that didn't exist. But now we have time travel as the focus of our story. And their main objective anytime, like they go into this thing like knowing that time travel exists and like, well, we can't mess with the timeline because it's going to screw everything up. And this is a mantra that you're going to hear time and time again throughout Star Trek history. But I do think that it gets handled better over time. Like there are much better time travel episodes in the original series, as well as the later series.
I think, Drew, my thinking about like future series of how the things are handled, I always think about the Deep Space Nine episode where Cisco and I think it's Dax, and I can't remember who, if it was
Bashir.
Dax?
Bashir. They go back in time for the, what is it called? The what riots?
The Bell riots.
Bell riots, that's right. And like that I think is a good example of how like future episodes handle it very well, where it's they're like, oh, we can't mess up the timeline, but we'll just replace the people and we'll become them, and then essentially a part of the actual situation. That tends to be my more favorite ones, because they need to keep the timeline going. They want to make sure that things don't get messed up.
And then in Star Trek 4, they use this exact same slingshot around the sun technique to go back to the 1980s.
Yep.
So that's like the entire plot point of a movie.
Also, that's how Superman did it.
Is it?
No, he spun the Earth in reverse.
Oh, that's dumber.
Yeah, that was a lot tougher. Let me spin the Earth in reverse, and that will totally go back in time. It won't mess up with our gravity at all.
Yeah, I mean, like we may not have any scientific backing behind the idea of slingshotting around the sun, but there is scientific evidence that revolving the Earth in reverse would destroy the Earth.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. Slingshotting around the sun, I think, is how Buzz Lightyear did it in the Lightyear movie this past summer.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it's good.
Was it some sort of thing? I thought it was some sort of like some fuel that he ended up having to. It was, you're right though. The movie from the Buzz Lightyear movie was actually a lot better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, because he was slingshotting around to hit a certain speed, but every time he did it, who was he? Are these spoilers?
Hey, you know what? Maybe Drew, they are.
Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen the movie, jump ahead. I don't know, 45 seconds. Anyway,
just end the episode. Just stop.
Just don't listen to us, because we're gonna keep talking about it, and I'm sure Majeed's gonna forget and be like talking in like the next 10 minutes again.
Don't stop the episode, because you probably finish to the end, because you love us anyway. Every time Buzz Lightyear did a jump around the sun, everybody else aged 7 years. Like the whole world went on 7 years. Meanwhile, he's the same age because of the time-space differential stuff. That's the same way Brad does it normally.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But that was it. Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
I don't really remember what we were talking about.
It was slingshot around the sun.
Oh yeah, that. Well, Majeed, what did you think of the time travel aspect of this episode?
I hated it, man. Especially after seeing the Futurama episode where they go back to the airbase. That's all I could just picture.
Somebody to sleep with their grandmother or something?
Oh my God, I forgot about Fry doing that. I could totally see Kirk doing that. I expected. I expected though to be a little more drama, right? I expected the pilot that they saved, the moment he turned around and revealed his face, and you see the close up of Kirk's face. I expected that to be a relative, a long lost relative of Kirk.
Okay,
that's what I expected.
I got it.
I was let down. I hyped myself up for nothing, and then I lost interest in the episode.
Fair. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I guess, should we go into talking about? I actually don't have anything else to talk about. So should we go into our thoughts and final comments?
I mean, this episode is pretty narrow. Unfortunately, I feel like there should be way more to discuss because, it being a time travel episode, there's all these different possible ramifications, but at the end of the day, none of it really mattered. Even when they revealed to the guy that he's going to have a son that like lands on Mars or something.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to bring up that in the summary. Is that his the whole reason why they figured out that they needed to find a way to return the guy was because it wasn't him who would do anything significant. It was his son who is not yet born.
Right, and he gets all like googly eyed. He's like, "Oh, a son.
I'm gonna be a father again.
I'm gonna have a baby boy."
Yep.
What was that voice you just did, Drew? What was that?
That was 1960s man.
That was 1960s you?
1960s man.
Oh, I don't like it.
Why?
I don't know. Can you just do it in maybe Roberto's voice or something?
Ha ha! I'm gonna have a baby boy. Ah!
That gets me every time.
I don't really know what to say.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense, but I love it.
Well,
why?
Anyways, I think to your point,
hostages.
I can't, man.
Is this Always Sunny?
Futurama, man.
Oh, Futurama. I don't remember that character.
It's Roberto.
Don't remember the character.
He's the robot that stabs.
Oh, he doesn't sound like that, does he?
He does.
That's my impression of him. Whether or not it's a good one is
I went to the bank to case out the joint and rob it a little bit.
Okay, gentlemen.
Every line.
Let's get going to those gradings. Those gradings.
I'm good. Oh, okay.
Well, listeners, if you really want to have a special episode where we just hear Majeed laughing off his ass, please write us and let us know. And we will maybe create a special episode where it's just 30 minutes of Majeed laughing.
I can even add some music to it, some like dubstep or something.
Make some little raps.
ASMR.
Yeah.
I'm breaking a sweat.
This is the hardest he's laughed in.
It's been a while.
It's been.
Oh god, it's the Roberto voice, man. It's the Futurama references that get me. The Zach Braff and Brannigan, Roberto. We've done Lower Deck references. Like all that stuff just breaks me, and Drew just knows how to break me.
I love it.
He's basically Drago from Rocky IV.
Yes,
Drew.
You don't get that reference, do you, Brad?
No, Drew.
The big Russian guy.
What?
Rocky IV?
I actually never seen Rocky.
I'm gonna throw an egg at you.
I never seen
That's
any
the
of the
second.
Rockies.
That's another demerit.
Drew, where are you on your scoring, sir?
I came into this one kind of excited because I wanted to see how they would handle time travel, and I walked away somewhat disappointed. Although not like I wasn't like completely down on this episode. I think there were a lot of good ideas that were formulated and foundations set, but ultimately my knowledge of Star Trek to come, I think, really hampered my enjoyment of this episode because there are other episodes that do the same exact plot significantly better than this one did. And unfortunately, it's hard for me to separate that from, my score.
Okay.
So if this was on TV and I was flipping through the channels, I would probably leave it on. It would be background noise and I'd be on my phone or washing dishes or whatever, and I would not pause it to make sure I don't miss a thing. If I had to get up to go to the bathroom, I'd leave it on. Would not pause it. But I wouldn't shut it off either. I don't think it was bad. I just don't think it was good. So that puts
didn't hold your interest.
Yeah, I found my interest waning quite a bit right around the time where the second guy got beamed aboard. Like mentally, that's when I started messing around on my phone. Quite honestly, So I'm gonna give it a 5.
Whoa! Wow, that's a low number there, buddy.
Yeah,
Generous.
I was coming in with the thinking of a 6, but now that we've kind of talked through it, I think a 5.
All right, Majeed, how about you, buddy?
So I've done nothing to hide my hate for this episode. In terms of interest, my daughter was more interested than I was. I was playing Marvel Snap while watching this episode. Marvel Snap, give us money. Name drop.
Yeah, I'll buy variants.
Yeah, right. I'll buy variants as well. I'll buy season pass. I'll buy the Wakanda package. Whatever. Anyway, I didn't like the episode, man. They are handling time travel really bad. They are handling time travel worse than Brad has, and Brad is pretty bad at time travel. There's too many versions of you in this timeline.
Clearly, yeah. I mean, or other people can just say all white people look alike to you. So.
Oh, flag on the play. Oh, whoa! I am not saying that. I am not saying that. You are not getting my sneaker deal taken away.
Yes, the sneaker deal that you're going to be getting from a van down by the river.
Yeah, there's a lot of those vans at City Field too. So
you're not getting my sneaker deal.
You know, when you go to City Field next week, you might see some Mets fans still tailgating. They didn't get the memo, so see if they got any sneakers you can grab.
They have. I mean, Mets fans.
He'll just go into the city and get one of those from those vendors on the street. They're selling the knockoff. It's like Nike instead of Nike.
I had one of those when I was a kid.
Like a Mike Piazza shirt.
When hold on, I know you're in the middle of your score, and I'm sorry, Majeed, but in the
in my defense, I need to interrupt you.
No. This is about the Nike thing. When I was a kid, my mom bought a shirt for me. It was a pullover sweatshirt, right? And it was a really cozy sweatshirt, and it had the Nike logo on it in stitched leather. It was really nice, right? But on the sleeve, it had JanSport logo. And it took me 20 years to figure out that was a fake.
Aww.
It's like somebody.
Is your mom listening to this?
No.
Oh, that sucks. Because she bought you a knockoff sweater, but also because she's not listening to the podcast.
Yeah, that's.
Drew's mom listened to the podcast. Oh shit, she won't listen to the podcast for me to actually say that to her.
Now you've created time travel.
Oh wow, that's
created paradox.
Right.
Wow, this is why Brad's so bad at it. It's so easy to mess up.
Majeed, what's your score?
An 8 out of 10.
Hold on.
I'm joking. I did that for Drew.
Man, Drew is about to lose his crap there.
I almost did a spit take, man.
Did that for Drew.
I had a mouthful.
He was mid-drink.
I had a mouthful of beer, and this guy's 8 out of 10. I hated it. What the?
It's reverse day. It's Bizarro day, right?
Oh.
Are you Drew?
So he means a 2. He gave it a 2.
No. I'll give it a 4.
Wow.
I can't. Yeah, no, I didn't like the episode.
Man, you guys really bashed this one, I guess.
I don't see
Brad's best episode ever.
I don't see a 5
solid 10.
well,
Right.
I don't know. I try to use the scale as appropriate. A 5 for me is average, meaning it's enjoyable but not great. It's right in the middle.
Oof. We are using the scales differently.
Yep.
I'm thinking of it's like school.
You're using the
IGN.
100. You're using the IGN scale.
What? 1 out of 10. There's water everywhere.
Yeah.
No, I'm using my scale like you would for school, right? So, percentage. So
fair enough.
Yeah, this in my mind is it's like an F.
So what is a 1 or a 0? A 1 or 2?
Abysmal.
Yeah, but if you're using a school scale,
it's gonna stay back a season. It's gonna get held back.
Yeah. You failed geometry, so you're gonna have to take it again.
Yeah. By the way, I'm just gonna put it out there. It's really nice seeing Nichelle Nichols on screen.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. I think that's one thing that I kind of wish this series did, is to have more screen time, with her and Sulu, and it really is the Kirk, Spock, and McCoy show.
in primarily the Kirk show.
Yeah.
Like there's no question in season 1 at least, like William Shatner's the star.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, William Shatner is by the way, that fight scene with Shatner, that man cannot throw a punch to save his life. No wonder why he got caught.
That's why he got beat up by the Gorn.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was also super slow.
He's very slow. And listen, there was one part of that fight where one of the guys got thrown into the cabinet. Mm-hmm. I'm like, there's no way Kirk is that strong.
What about the part where the guy like charged at him and Kirk just like hung up on the door frame?
Yeah, that was so telegraphed. Like, come on, you don't know. Why'd you go low?
Yeah.
You know, and he pulled out a gun on him, like, you could just said, I'm an alien, bullets bounce off of me.
Yeah, right. Brad, what was your score?
Going through, I think the episode started off really strong. Time travel is one of those things that really falls near and dear to my heart when it comes to science fiction, though. As cheesy and corny as this episode is, I actually enjoyed it. I actually had a good time. It did hold my interest, but it was comical. It wasn't any stretch a great episode, but to me it was a solid 7. So it wasn't bad. Clearly not as bad as what you guys thought, but it was entertaining.
Up with him. No. Don't put me in the same category as you.
It was entertaining for me. I actually enjoyed it. I understand your point, Drew, where it's like, oh, if I need to, go grab a snack, I would leave it on. I wouldn't pause it. Yeah. There's plenty of TV shows that I do that. I think this, though, I would have probably paused it in that kind of scenario where I was just like, yeah, I actually been having fun with it. It's not a great episode, but I'm enjoying it.
Now that you've seen it once, would you still do that?
Oh yeah. Time travel is always one of those things that I really enjoy. Thinking of like Back to the Future, thinking about I think it was About Time. There's so many different good time related shows that I just really enjoy.
One of my favorite science fiction tropes in general is the time travel trope. Mm-hmm. I love to see, and time travel and alternate universes kind of go hand in hand. And it's like I love to see what would happen if something in history were changed, something were different, or if somebody went back in time and experienced things through a different lens. And so I'm right there with you. I just think that my enjoyment of it was hampered by what is to come. Episodes like Deep Space Nine, So,
but at face value, trying to remove those types of things, because there's plenty of other time related shows and movies that are so much or that done so much better than this. I think it was yesterday I turned on the movie Source Code. I don't know if you ever saw that. Jake Gyllenhaal.
That was a time loop.
It was kind of like a time loop where Jake Gyllenhaal's consciousness gets transported into this guy, and he has like 8 minutes to figure out who planted a bomb on a train, and it keeps blowing up. I mean, and it's kind of like a cross between going into different dimensions, where he's not actually going back in time, but he's just going to a different dimension where it hasn't happened yet.
You are spoiling the movie for Drew.
he's not gonna watch it. But it was done in a way where like you can enjoy those things. Like I love. Oh, you know what? I don't know if you ever watched Stargate. Stargate probably did one of my favorite time loop, which was the one where O'Neill and Teal'c are experiencing the same day over and over again, and it is the most hilarious Stargate episode I ever can recall.
That's cool. Cause and effect in TNG, where the Enterprise is stuck in that loop. As one that has Frasier in it.
Yep.
I would love to see a Lower Deck style time loop show.
I'm sure at some point you will.
Oh man!
Discovery did it really well.
The Mud.
Yes.
The Mud one. Yeah.
That was a great episode.
Didn't Strange New World do it as well? Or am I confusing the two?
I don't remember Stranger Worlds. Wasn't Pike? Pike was the captain though at the time, I think. Because it was Mud.
That was Lorca. It was Lorca.
This was season 1.
It was season 1.
Yeah, he was going up to Lorca.
Yep.
It's been a while.
That was my favorite episode.
But it was a good episode.
But to your point though, Drew, there's plenty of ways you could do it better. However, I said it before. I love campiness, and it's very cheesy. This is it does fall in the cheesy and campiness of it, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't
I think, yeah. I mean, for cheesy and campy, I think it hit all the marks.
Yeah, it did. But I'm looking forward to seeing future time travel episodes from the series.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see better takes on it, right?
So we, I know in the Discord channel, Drew, by the way, the yet another Star Trek podcast Discord, we have one. So join in. We'd love to hear from everyone. But there was a discussion, Drew, about the movies being removed from Paramount Plus, and you were wondering where they're gonna end up next. They ended up on HBO Max.
Why?
I don't know. I just wanted to share that with you.
The original?
I didn't think
the original movies?
Yeah. I didn't have an answer to the follow-up question, Drew, because I was just excited to find them for you.
Because Warner Brothers doesn't know what the hell they're doing?
No, it's because it's Discovery.
Warner Brothers Discovery doesn't know what the hell they're doing?
Star Trek Discovery.
I don't think it works that way.
Anyways, gentlemen, next week, or we will be watching, not next week, in 2 weeks, we'll be discussing Court Martial. Kirk is accused of criminal negligence causing the death of one of his subordinates, Lieutenant Commander Benjamin Finney, and is put on trial for his murder. I do like the emphasis of one. Just one of his subordinates.
It has to start somewhere. Like when they finally took down Harvey Weinstein, it started with one.
So is this like what would the hashtag for this movement be?
Hashtag red shirts.
Hashtag red shirts. Red shirt justice.
Oh, even better.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yo, man, we're going to hell.
Yeah.
I mean, you are maybe. I just want justice.
I'm definitely going to hell.
Gentlemen, anything else you want to talk about this lovely evening?
I miss you.
Well, I miss you too, Majeed. Or are you just talking to the listeners and you're just telling the listeners that you miss them?
Why not both?
Why not both?
True. Fair enough. Anyways, wonderful listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another Star Trek podcast. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy.
Thanks for listening to yet another Star Trek podcast. We're a part of the Retro Sessions Network. This episode was recorded on November 13th, 2022, and was hosted by myself, Brad, Drew, and Majeed. This episode was edited by Drew. Brad didn't write the synopsis because that guy's a slacker, and Majeed takes care of the art. Special thanks to William Grobelaar Music for our music Warp Speed and To the Stars. You can find him on SoundCloud. We'll have links in the show notes. Also, special thanks to George Ratau for additional artwork. He made us look like Lower Deck characters. You can too. Hit him up on Fiverr. We'll drop a link in the show notes as well. We'd love to hear from you. Hit us up on TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter at yetanotherstpod. Or shoot us an email at yetanotherstpod@gmail.com. We've also got a Discord room, so come chat with us and say hello. Next episode, we'll be watching Court Martial. Watch along with us on Paramount Plus and let us know what you think of the episode. Let us know how we're doing by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcast from. Plus, it's free to support the show. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.